Hey everyone, welcome back to Rondell Designs, or if you're new here, welcome. I create art and craft DIY videos as well as the occasional creative business tip. Today's video, I am just going to share with you my process, or draw with me, of this artwork I did this morning in my sketchbook. So I'm going to actually frame this because Thrive is my word for 2021. And I really want to have that as a daily reminder for myself this year. So I'm putting my word up on my wall so that every morning I wake up and remember. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know with a thumbs up if you do, or if you'd like to leave a comment, something you got out of it. Also, if there's any other type of videos you'd like to see on my channel, would love to hear from you. Otherwise, enjoy the video. So I found this nice green uni ball fine liner and just a red ballpoint pen, and then I found my long lost Copic black fine liners in various really small sizes. I'm also just using some highlighters now because I'm working at home today. I really don't have many of my art supplies at home because I work from my co-working space. My art studio is all set up there, so I don't have much stuff at home at the moment unless I'm specifically going to be drawing at home, and then I'll bring stuff for the home for that. The best thing about these black fine liners in the Copic brand, they are 100% waterproof permanent markers. So sometimes you'll get a permanent marker and you think, okay, that's great, I can add watercolor or textures or colored markers over the top and it won't affect the black lines. But I have found, unfortunately, that's not always the case. Even if it says permanent markers, you need to make sure that they're 100% waterproof. So these ones are, so I know that I can start off with the black lines and go over the top with some colour, and that's what I'll be able to do. Now with this image, I don't really have an idea in my head of how it's going to look or what I'm adding. All I know is I'm starting with a flower base. I'll add some leaves, and then I'm just going to do some patterning and just see where it takes me. I'm really just going with the flow. I find this kind of drawing really relaxing because I don't have a preset idea in my head, so I don't have that pressure of, oh, I've got to make it look a certain way. So this is really fun and relaxing for me. So when I'm drawing these kind of images in my sketchbook, I do like to keep it a black base, but when I add in other color ink, I just find it gives it a really cool, more of a diverse look. And these little flowery leafy vines are a great space filler if you are wanting to do a sort of a semi-abstract florally design drawing. These are just a super easy way to fill in some space, give it a bit more character, and yeah, develop the picture. Now, although I am going to do a lot more line work on the petals of this big flower with my black fine liner, I've decided to hit it with the highlighter first. Just because although the black fine liners are permanent waterproof, I've just been burnt before where I've added all these tiny little detailed lines and then gone over it with colour and it's all smudged. So I thought I'm just going to do the colour first on this layer and let it dry a little bit, and then I'll go over with the line detail after it. I just find this kind of picture making so relaxing. It's literally like I'm building my own colouring in page and then colouring in as I go. It's just super soothing. So with the colour, I'm really just going with my intuition and sort of just deciding as I go what colours I'm using in what areas, and same with the lines. I'm just going as on the whim, in the moment, deciding what area needs lines and patterns, and it's a really nice way to create art. And you'll notice with the lines on the petals here, I kind of start from the left and then go all the way over to the right and then work my way into the middle from both sides. That's so that I try and get nice even lines from each side and I don't run out of space, and then I'm just filling that middle part. And once you're done, if you feel like you've got too big a gaps, you can just go in and fill them in like I have on this little petal here. Super easy. When it comes to leaves, I like to do a few little different and interesting patterns on each one. I feel like it brings another interesting element to the picture. So you can just experiment. Like I really kind of do a little bit different every time. Yeah, and it's fun and it just keeps it a little bit more interesting. And on a picture like this, you really can go as detailed and intricate as you want to on the patterning of it, because that is a really big part of the picture, is the pattern work. If you had, hours to spend, you could literally go crazy with tiny little lines and shapes and patterns, and it just looks amazing. I think I spent all up on the finished project, this guy, about an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, I could have gone a lot further, but I wasn't in the vibe to spend hours and hours on this one. But yeah, you can let yourself go, and it's so nice and calming. It's really mindful work, I feel, because you're really focused on just what you're doing, and it's not hard focus. Doesn't take a lot of concentration. It's really just like you got to work out your colors and your patterns, and that's pretty much it. So that's why I highly recommend this type of artwork, either just in your sketchbook or on some nice watercolor paper, or on a canvas. If you're using paints, and Posca pens are also great for line work and patterning. Yeah, just experiment with what you like to use best. And as you go along with this kind of drawing, you can choose to leave sections of it just black and white. That I had intended that for these they're kind of supposed to be like pussy willow, the little bunny tail. I think they're weeds, but I love them. But I just decided to bring in the colour in the end. But yeah, you can leave parts really empty and just the lines, and then just have some of the sections coloured in. That can give you a really interesting look as well. But today I was all about the colour, as you can see. Now I'm just using some simple circles to fill in space over here on the right. And then I've taken the same green fine liner, not highlighter, and just giving that other leaf up there a little bit more detail. Really just like looking at it as I go and seeing what's working, what is ready to be left, and what then needs a bit more work. So now at this point, I've decided that I don't just want them to be little circles in the air just to fill in space. I've sort of turned them into billy buttons and just adding some very simple stem looks, and just always looking at the page as a whole, looking at the overall composition of the page to make sure it's nice and balanced, both with colour and elements. So I'm liking how this looks, how it's just kind of like the billy button flowers are just like popping out of the side. It's almost like a bouquet from Bird's Eye View at the moment, which I'm quite liking. As you can see, I'm really liking the look of the billy buttons coming out of the side of the main flower. So I've added lots more in, and I think it's filling out the page really nicely. Okay, I felt like the right side was a little bit empty, so I'm just adding in another leaf, which you can totally do anytime you want to add in some more balance. It works really well as easy little fillers. Okay, I've also found this black Sharpie, which is a bit thicker than the fine liners I was using for the main part of the picture, and just adding in some more little circles as a little feature and gap filler, and then putting on some stems so they kind of look like little bunch of tiny flowers. Now, because I've got the black on the other side, I feel like I need to add some black on this side for balance. So I'm just doing like little lines representing some little flowers or leaves. Now I've just come up with the idea to add in a word. So my word of the year for 2021 is thrive, and I thought there's a nice big gap down the bottom there. Perfect place to add my word of the year in, and then when I finish this piece I can actually hang it on the wall next to my bed as a daily reminder of what I'm focused on for the year. Okay, now I've also found this gold pen, which is a Uniball Signo pen, and thought that the Thrive might look nice in gold to add a little bit of extra colour in there. So I've added this yellow in here. Now, one of the things I always say with art, don't be afraid to add things, because if you make a mistake, you can always go over the top and fix it. I really quickly realised that I did not like the yellow at all. I think because I already had the gold in there, it didn't look good at all. So I'm going over it with pink, and then that's still really not covered it up enough, but I'll come back to that in a little while, as you'll see. So again, for balance, I feel like I needed to add in some gold on another part of the picture to tie the Thrive in down the bottom. So I just coloured in those little circles I did earlier and a couple of the swirls, and again trying to fix that little swirly down the bottom left there. I've sort of thought to make it like a bead plant, like a the pea, what are they called? Anyway, it's looking better. I'm happy with this, and that's got balance now. It's got like the 3 areas of the gold. So I'm really happy with the overall balance of this picture now. I feel like it's just about finished. What I have decided to do is go over the petals on the big centre flower. It's sort of, because I've added in all the colours and the detail around the edges, I felt like it was looking a little bit washed out. So with the highlighter, it's literally just doing another layer to give it a bit more depth and darkness in colour. And now that I've darkened up the petals, I feel like the edges need a little bit more detail. So I'm just going around the edges now of the main petals with my fine liner, just to darken up the border and give it a little bit more definition. Okay, so I'm just finalizing this now, and I felt like a few other elements just need a little bit of a black outline, and I think I am just about done here. Okay, I'm definitely happy with that. I could go on forever, but you got to stop at some point. So I'm just signing this because I am going to turn it into a digital download print on my Etsy shop, Rondell Printables. So if you like this, it's now available at Rondell Printables Etsy shop. The link is in the description. Thanks, guys. And remember, I'd really appreciate a like on this video if you found it valuable. Thank you.